The most powerful move you will ever make is no move at all. Let that sink in. Right now, you think action is the answer. You think blocking them will send a message. You believe that explaining yourself will make them understand. You hope that one last attempt will finally make them see your worth. But here is the truth. Real power is not in what you do, it is in what you do not do. You do not need to block them. You do not need to beg. You do not need to prove anything. The most unsettling thing you can do is vanish, no warning, no explanation, no goodbye. Because silence is not just the absence of words. It is the presence of unanswered questions. And that is the one thing they will never be able to handle. Imagine a magician in the middle of a trick. He is pulling rabbits out of hats, making things disappear, reading minds. But then, right before the big finale, just stops. No explanation, no conclusion. He simply walks off stage. The audience is stunned, restless, unable to let it go. They need to know what happened. That is the power of silence. And today I will show you why inaction is your greatest weapon. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to flip the script in a way they will never recover from. But before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what I am about to share will change the way you handle people forever. And trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next. Now, let's begin. Why blocking and begging never work. Blocking feels like power, but it actually gives them closure. It allows them to say they are just mad and move on. It gives them an ending, a sense of finality. When you block someone, they do not feel loss. They feel relief. Begging feels like an attempt to fix things, but it only reassures them that they had control over you all along. The more you plead, the more they believe they were the one in charge. It does not make them value you. It only proves that they were right to leave. Explaining yourself feels like clarity, but if they cared about understanding you, they would have listened the first time. They are not confused about what they did. They are indifferent to how you feel. And no explanation will ever change that. Imagine a store you have walked past for years. It was always there, so you never paid attention to it. Then one day it is gone. No sign, no explanation, no way to find out why. You stand there staring at the empty space, realizing too late that you never appreciated it until it disappeared. That is what happens when you vanish without a trace. It is not just absence, it is the kind of loss that leaves people restless, searching for answers they will never get. People do not regret hurting you. They regret losing control over you. And the moment you stop reacting, you become the one in control. Mastering the power of absence. The Stoics understood one fundamental truth. You cannot control other people. You can only control your response to them. This is where true power begins. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Real strength is not in proving your worth to someone who disregarded it. It is in removing yourself from places that no longer deserve your energy. When you react, you confirm that they still hold power over you. When you block, you show them they got under your skin. But when you do nothing, when you vanish without a trace, you leave them drowning in uncertainty. And uncertainty, it is not just powerful, it is haunting. Picture a puppet master pulling the strings, making the puppet dance. They believe they are in control. But now imagine that in an instant the strings are cut. The puppet falls lifeless. The master reaches, pulls, tries to make it move again, but it will not. That is what happens when you remove yourself from someone's grasp. They expect an emotional reaction. They expect you to reach out. They expect you to fight for closure. When you do not, their mind begins to spin. Because suddenly they are the ones left wondering. When you refuse to engage, you stop being their puppet. And that is when they start to panic. Why silence haunts them. People do not fear being blocked. They fear not knowing. The human brain craves certainty. It wants answers, explanations, and closure. This is why people obsess over unfinished stories. When something does not make sense, the mind keeps replaying it, searching for meaning. That is exactly what happens when you remove yourself from someone's life without a word. Blocking gives them closure. It tells them exactly where they stand, so they feel no need to question it. But silence is not just a lack of words. It is a black hole, pulling them into a void where their mind fills in the worst possible answers. And the longer that void stretches, the more unbearable it becomes. Uncertainty is the real poison. It lingers, it festers. It does not allow them to move forward because they do not have an ending. The longer they go without hearing from you, the more their mind fills in the blanks. Did you ever care? Have you already moved on? Were they never that important to you? Imagine someone who has always heard a faint background noise, like the hum of a refrigerator. They never notice it, but the moment it stops, the silence is deafening. That is exactly what happens when you disappear without explanation. They will check their phone, expecting to see a message from you, but there will be nothing. They will scroll through old conversations, searching for proof that they still matter. They will replay memories over and over, hoping to find a sign that you are still there. But the only thing waiting for them is silence, and that silence will echo louder than any words you could have spoken. People do not regret losing what they understand. They regret losing what they cannot figure out. And that is why you do not react. You do not explain, you do not close the door, you simply vanish, and the more time passes, the more they will realize what they lost. By the time they understand, it will already be too late. How to apply this strategy? Step 1. Vanish without explanation. No text, no dramatic goodbye, no final words about how you deserve better. Just leave. They will expect a reaction. Do not give them one. Step 2. Stop checking in. No watching their stories, no accidental likes, no searching their name. The moment they think you are still watching, they do not feel the loss. Disappear completely. Step 3. Focus on your growth. Become someone they no longer recognize, not as a performance but as a transformation. Work on yourself so deeply that by the time they look back, they do not even recognize the person you have become. Think about an ex who seemed fine when you left them. You never thought twice about it, but a year later you see them thriving, looking better than ever, and suddenly you regret everything. That is what happens when you move forward without them. You do not make them regret losing you by telling them what they lost. You make them regret it by becoming someone they can never reach again. Why they will never see you the same again. At first they will act like they do not care. They will tell themselves they made the right decision. They will convince themselves that walking away from you was easy. They will keep moving forward, distracted by new faces, new conversations, and the illusion of freedom. But time has a way of exposing the truth. Days will pass, and they will feel nothing. Weeks will go by, and they will still believe they are fine. But then something will shift. Maybe it is a quiet night when they are alone with their thoughts. Maybe it is a song playing in the background that reminds them of you. Maybe it is an old memory that sneaks into their mind when they least expect it. And suddenly, for the first time, they feel the weight of your absence. They will check their phone, expecting to see a message from you. But there will be nothing. They will scroll through old conversations, searching for some kind of proof that they still exist in your world. But there will be silence. And that silence will be louder than any words you could have ever said. What if they were wrong? What if they miscalculated? What if you were the one person they should have held on to? They will replay everything in their mind, trying to pinpoint the moment when you started slipping away, but they will not be able to find it. Because you did not make a scene, you did not beg, you did not give them a reason to feel superior. You simply vanished. And now, instead of feeling wanted, instead of feeling in control, they feel something else. Uncertainty. And uncertainty is the one thing the human mind cannot handle. It lingers, it festers. It does not allow them to move forward because they do not have an answer. Did you ever care at all? Have you already moved on? Did they mean nothing to you? By the time they realize what they lost, you will be too far ahead to care. They will wonder what you are doing, who you are with if you even remember them. But you will be living, not pretending to be happy, not trying to make them jealous, but genuinely thriving in a life where they no longer exist. That is the final blow. Not anger, not revenge, just absence. Because the greatest punishment is knowing that by the time they wake up, you will already be gone. Say this with me. I owe no one my energy. For too long, you have given your time, your emotions, and your peace to people who never valued them. That ends today. From this moment forward, you stop explaining, you stop proving, and you stop waiting. You let your absence be the lesson they never forget. They will wonder where you went. They will check for signs that you still care. But all they will find is silence. And that silence will be louder than any words you could have spoken. If this message spoke to you, if you are ready to reclaim your power, do one thing right now. Write it in the comments. Own it. Let the world know that you are done being an option. And if you are ready for more, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because what is coming next will make sure they never see you the same way again. You do not need revenge. You do not need closure. You only need to move forward in a way that makes them realize they never had power over you to begin with. The strongest move you will ever make is the one they never expected.